Coming up on the AFN Europe Report.
Army medics teach Georgian healthcare providers how to perform a medevac. Plus,
I think this donation will help more than 100 kids.
Airmen do what they can to help orphan children in Mali, Africa. And it's not easy docking a ship.
I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. I think I get the best job in the Navy.
We meet a sailor in Spain who's become an expert at performing this massive task.
Those stories and more.
Your station. Your stories.
The AFN Europe Report starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Specialist Jennifer Gold. Life, limb, or eyesight, these soldiers train healthcare workers in the Republic of Georgia the skills to perform a medical evacuation.
The U.S. service members in the Republic of Georgia participating in IR08 can focus on the task at hand, knowing there are medevac teams on call to help at a moment's notice. These teams are also training the Georgian medics at a local hospital in Tbilisi to make sure they're ready to provide medical care if the need arises.
The training has been outstanding. I think once we get everything situated and the actual training event starts, this will be probably one of the better training events that I've been to in a foreign country.
The training consists of several medevac tasks, including how to approach a helicopter and what medical equipment is in the helicopter. According to Sergeant Rudolph, the training will help make sure wounded soldiers get medical attention as fast as possible during IR08.
Life, limb, or eyesight, you call us, we'll come. We'll pick you up. We'll treat you to the best of our ability. I will get you to the nearest medical facility and get you to somebody that can take care of you so you can come home.
Additionally, Georgian soldiers will also receive combat lifesavers training. Senior Airman Jeremy Townsend, Vaziani Training Area, Tbilisi, Georgia.
Exercise Red Flag 08 may occur in the States, but American and Indian service members meet in the Azores to prepare for this trilateral mission.
8 Indian Air Force fighters landed at Lodges Field for a few days on their way to one of the toughest air combat exercises in the world. Their Su-30 Mk-1 fighters will exercise with U.S. and NATO fighters for the first time in Red Flag 2008 at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada.
Red Flag was originally conceived in 1975 to ensure that pilots are trained well enough to survive air combat and to win air battles.
The exercise director says it's a logical step forward for both countries to fly and train together.
You know, it's the most talked about exercise and supposed to be the most difficult. We look forward to our air crews doing well there. Just hope to keep our eyes and ears open to grasp as much of training value that we can derive from this deployment.
The 65th Air Base Wing Commander says Lodges welcomed the Indian Air Force with open arms.
And this is their first stop at a U.S. Air Force base on the way to Red Flag itself. To get to welcome them to Lodges Field in partnership with our Portuguese hosts is one of the 4 things that we do here every day at Lodges. And that one of those 4 things is bilateral relations. This is trilateral. We're working with our Portuguese hosts and giving a great welcome to what is a very unique airplane and a great opportunity for a pilot like myself to see one of those airplanes you've heard a lot about but haven't seen very much.
One pilot says he researched the Azores on the internet before he left.
And I knew it's an island, but I didn't know it's so beautiful.
He wasn't the only one who appreciated the island's beauty.
It's a place I would like to stay on and fly for quite some time.
Unfortunately, that wasn't possible this time around. The Indian Air Force was only on island 2 days before they were off to take to the skies for the first time as part of Red Flag 2008. Tech Sergeant Colleen Armstrong, Lodges Field, Azores.
The IMCOM Europe Library Program is proud to present critically acclaimed author Andrew Carroll. You may have seen him featured on such shows as Oprah, NBC's Nightly News, and CNN. He is touring Europe on his What's Your Story tour, a series of discussions and readings that take place at 9 locations beginning August 26th. The tour is supported by IMCOM Europe, MWR, and through the National Endowment for the Arts. His goal is to get soldiers and their families to share their stories of living and experiencing life during the war on terrorism. For more information on What's Your Story tour, you can visit your Garrison Library website at library.eur.army.mil. The service members in Exercise Medflag 08 are making it a point to provide care for some orphans in a very poor country. That country is Mali, Africa.
The 31st Fighter Wing's kindness made its way to its final destination as the Joint Med Flag team unloaded over 30 boxes of children's clothing off the truck and passed them down the line into an orphanage in Bamako, Mali. This orphanage is home to children under 5 and those very ill physically, mentally, and terminally. One of the coordinators of the donation explained why this delivery meant so much.
And because it's a poor country, the government of Mali also has less means to put into organizations such as this one. Although it's a central government office, they don't have sufficient budget to come and help all the kids that unfortunately are hosted here. Therefore, I think this donation will help more than 100 kids that are here that could get clothes and protect themselves against all the disease and all other problems that they have in this center.
This joint effort between the Air Force, the State Department, and the Lions Club is a small gesture with a huge impact for the children at the Bamako National Orphanage. Reporting from Bamako, Mali, I'm Senior Airman Alex Griffin.
Everybody has a story, and if you'd like to share yours, we'd love to hear from you. Send your story idea via email to stories@afne.army.mil. Plus, don't forget, you can also look us up on the web. We're at afneurope.net. All the stories you've seen on the AFN Europe Report are available on our website. Once there, you can view, save, and send these stories to anyone you'd like. And coming up, we meet an expert at sea. Stay with us. We often take clean drinking water for granted, and in Naples, Italy, the community ensures their drinking water remains clean with a few simple steps.
Clean running water. It's something we might take for granted, but something the Navy takes very seriously. The Navy began testing tap water, air, and soil as part of an in-depth public health evaluation as a result of concerns for potential health risks to personnel living in the Naples and Caserta provinces. Soil and tap water is tested for a variety of contaminants. Sampling data are then compared to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency standards and guidelines. Air sampling has also begun to test for various pollutants. Meteorological information will be used to evaluate the transport of pollutants in the air. Like tap water and soil, air sampling data are also compared to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency standards and guidelines. Meteorological information such as wind direction can be used to evaluate the transport of pollutants in the air. The public health evaluation relies on collecting data from areas where personnel live, so it's important for everyone to complete a sampling questionnaire.
I went online, I took the survey, they came out, 20 to 30 minutes, tested the water and the soil, and then they left. It was very simple.
While completing a questionnaire doesn't mean that your home will be sampled, the information provided assists the assessment in characterizing lifestyle trends such as garden use, as well as defining water sources and proximity to open burning. Remember, the soil, water, and air sampling is just one part of the overall public health evaluation. The assessment also includes epidemiological studies such as asthma and current research and existing Italian and U.S. studies. Updates, fact sheets, and sampling questionnaires can be found online at www.nsa.naples.navy.mil/risk. Petty Officer Jason Benke, Naples, Italy.
Many of us may know how to dock a pontoon or speedboat at the lake back home, but could you dock 40,000 tons of ship and jet fuel? We'll leave that to this professional.
Auto Vessel Power, this is Rotoport Control, Channel 16, over.
A fuel tanker needs to come into port. To do this requires a harbor pilot. who knows the area's waters. One of the Navy's 9 harbor pilots, Rota Port Operations Chief Michael Hicks.
So when I've got a guy on the pier that will be walking with us,
Guides hundreds of ships a year to Navstay's piers. The teamwork of Spanish tugboats,
Cadí Minima,
the crew of the ship he pilots,
dead slow astern,
and especially the deck masters and line handlers make his job of controlling 40,000 tons of ship and jet fuel possible.
I got a mark on the pier. I'll get her pretty steady, pretty stopped, and we'll just set her down and adjust.
Okay, copy that. Are they limited to using only 3 and 4?
The line handlers, you couldn't do it without them. They're a great set of guys. They work probably more weekends, more after hours than anybody on the base, and they do it in stride, and you never hear them complaining about it. They're my backbone.
We're just about 2 feet.
Stop the engines, Captain.
The guys Hicks works with turn an elite yet high-stress job into an enjoyable one.
Honestly, since I've been here with this crew, these guys here, I haven't had a bad move because of what they do. I'll get the ship inside the harbor and the guys take care of the rest. Doing this is the reason I get up every morning. I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. I think I get the best job in the Navy.
With the mooring lines tight, Hicks's mission is over.
It's bien.
Until the next ship needs a local with the lowdown of Rota's harbor waters.
Yeah, Captain. It's been a pleasure.
Marine Corporal Todd Lewis, Rota, Spain.
That's all the time we have this evening. Stay tuned for our weekly travel series, Destinations. And for everyone here at the AFN Europe Report, thank you for watching and have a great weekend.
Looking to make the most out of your time in Europe? Well, check out the Stars and Stripes Welcome to Europe magazine. It has 100 pages of travel tips and vacation guides, plus delicious recipes and the best places to go shopping. The 2008 summer edition includes insider travel tips to Belgium and Spain, as well as a guide to staying in military lodging throughout Europe. The Stars and Stripes Welcome to Europe magazine, available now at your local family and community service center. Pick up your copy today.
On this week's Destinations, we take you to the Lorraine American Cemetery and Memorial in Saint-Avold, France. It's the largest World War II cemetery in Europe, and it's only an hour from the Kaiserslautern military community. Dedicated in July 1960, the Lorraine American Cemetery covers more than 113 acres of rolling landscape between Saarbrücken and Metz. There are more than 10,000 American soldiers buried here, with 28 pairs of brothers resting side by side. The memorial, a 67-feet-high tower, bears a carving of St. Avold extending his blessing on those who rest here or are commemorated on the walls of the missing.
On the wall of the missing, flanking the memorial, there are 444 names of soldiers of remains that were never recovered. However, we do have 151 unknown soldiers that are buried in the cemetery. There are 11 women that are also buried here, and 4 Medal of Honor recipients that are buried in this cemetery.
The chapel inside the memorial holds 5 sculpted figures representing the eternal struggle for freedom and maps portraying military operations in Western Europe during World War II. The beauty of the cemetery and memorial are a fitting tribute to the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom.
There are great Americans that have sacrificed their lives for the liberation of Europe and the world. And it's our responsibility to ensure that time will never forget the glories of what these soldiers have done. And so when Americans come and they look upon these soldiers' crosses in the wind, and they see how beautifully that they're maintained, and they realize that America has not forgotten her sons and daughters.
That's going to do it for this week's Destinations. For more information on the Lorraine American Cemetery and Memorial or the other cemeteries and memorials in Europe, check them out at our website, afneurope.net.